Was that the thing?
Yeah.
Hi, hello, welcome, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Midnight in the Marshes. This is a Root actual play. Root being a tabletop role-playing game by the awesome folks over at Magpie Games. It is based on a different name of the same game, Root, a game of woodland might, I believe, something like that. It is a board game, kind of like Risk, but with fancy little animal critters and different rules and everything like that. I am Miguel. I will be the game master this evening for our tale. Before we get started, let's go ahead and roll around the table, see who our players are, who their characters are, etc. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Christian.
Oh, snap. Hey, hi, everybody. Hey. My name is Christian. Pronouns are he, him. I will be playing Blitz Lombardi. Playbook is the Prince. His pronouns are also he, him. He's a bird species. Specifically, he's an ornate hawk eagle. Fun fact about where he's from, Red Paw Manor, or what is now known as Red Paw Manor. They are famous for, I believe, the tree. They are famous. A famous tree that they have is a black ironwood. Trees are famous over there. Nice, strong trees. Very, very good for weapons and armor. You can take your pick. That's me.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you. So I was writing that down so that we can remember all our cool fun facts. And I guess I'm just going in order of the screen. So let's kick it over to Isabel.
Hi, my name is Isabel.
Hello.
My pronouns are she, they, any, and I am playing Felix Fautus, a thief and a fox. Felix's pronouns are he or they. And a fact about Savannah's blessing. Yeah, so Savannah's Blessing has these like beautiful natural pools and hot springs. And there's a lot of like tourism because of that, and like tourist traps and things. And sort of a fact about Felix and sort of a fact about Savannah's Blessing, when he was a youngster, he would sell spring water as like a snake oil salesman with his good friend Chezzy. It's more specifically, his friend Chezzy would sell the spring water and make all the super real and true claims about it, while Felix would pick their pockets. So yeah, thriving tourist industry in Savannah's Blessing. That's my fun fact.
I'm still writing this down. This is amazing. This is what it's all about, folks. These little details are what really make games like this. Thank you for that. Since I'm going clockwise, just telling y'all now, Sabina, tell us all about it.
Hey, I am gonna be playing Beatrice Fleetcheeks. Fleetcheeks. She is a squirrel from the West Oak Tree Fleetcheeks clan. And fun fact, we've lived in our tree for over 10 generations of the Fleetcheeks family. So it's been a long time there.
That's a lot of tree. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then rounding out our band of vagabonds is Nate.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm Nate, pronouns he, him. Same for my little mouse ranger that I will be playing, Rankle Razortooth. From a small clearing just north of Felix's clearing, actually, known as 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙨. And fun fact about 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙨 is they are well known for their artisan cheeses, hence why it is run by mouse folk.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why Rankle decided to make his home there for quite some time before getting fed up with society and eventually hacking up and hitting.
I should add that my pronouns and Beatrice's pronouns are she, her.
Yeah, I also totally dropped the ball on that. Mine are they, he. 10 generations in a tree. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. That's awesome. Now we learned a little bit about our woodland, which is named Midwater. For our purposes, those two will probably be very interchanged. Yeah. why not, right? So yes, we start our adventure here in the woodland of Midwater. Midwater has been ravaged by war for many years now, probably more than a generation at this point. Excuse me, that was me. The history of the woodland is just fraught with conflict. To give a quick but steady overview, at one point, a faction known as the 𝙢𝙧𝙧 dynasties, made up of mostly bird nobility, or at least according to them, right, ruled the woodlands in some fashion or another, sometime in conflict with each other. Recently, the woodland was more calm, sort of in a period of peace, sort of self-rule, some clearings, towns being independent, others still, falling under the control of the 𝙢𝙧𝙧 dynasties. But an external faction, a group from the world beyond, decided to take advantage of this relative lull in activity, or this false peace, we'll call it, to invade. This group known as the Marquise or Marquisat, Marquisiti, Marquisit? Say it how you will, right? These are cats. Made predominantly of cats. Maybe there's actually their bigger cat empire somewhere far off, right? The Marquis, head of the Marquisat, decided this should be mine. So she set off with a big army and inventors and procession, whatnot, and came in and just kicked up a little war of colonization. Call it what it is. Now, many years into the war, they control some clearings on the west. The 𝙢𝙧𝙧 dynasties has a very strong hold on the east, and the whole center of the woodland is just now chaos. Tale takes place in we'll start in a clearing called Gramble's Log, far from some of the fighting, although not free from it altogether. Gramble's Log, previously under the control of the 𝙢𝙧𝙧 dynasties, has recently, in the last year-ish, right, gained independence. Now Gramble's Log is ruled by no one except the people of Gramble's Log. A big part of this was some involvement by our own band of vagabonds. Y'all were instrumental in helping this revolution, rebellion, uprising, balancing of the scales, whatever you want to call it, right, happen. You are now returning to Gramble's Log after quite some time, for the first time, at the behest of your friend Blair Witch. No, I just read it.
Fail.
This is why I have a list of sticky notes on my screen with names. Bale Watercrest, a frog. He has a small little fishing operation here in Gramble's Log. Was a freedom fighter when y'all were here last as well. He has sent a letter, quite concerned, the disappearance of one of the captains of, captain of one of his ships. So y'all set off from where you were, and now you are currently getting my cat off of my table, so his butt's not in my face. You are on a boat captained by Captain Andy Ramirez of the Riverfolk Company. He's bringing you downriver from Carlota's Keep in an area-controlled clearing. It is the middle of the night, but you should make port at Gramble's Log by morning. It's a breezy evening. We'll say maybe it's like late spring, right? But the evening can still get kind of cool down here. The closer you get to the marshes and the Great Southern Lake, the sort of more humid it becomes as well, right? Hi everyone, this is DJ Roomba. Bye, DJ Roomba. There's something of a galley, a little kind of mess, dining situation. It's not primarily a passenger boat, but Andy needed the coin, so he's more than happy to take yours to ferry you down the river a bit. You're taking in the evening meal. It's quite modest. There's some fresh caught fish from the river, some breads and cheeses from the store. The bread's getting a little stale, but it's still good if you put enough butter or jam or something on it like that. And then just some fresh, some spring greens and whatnot tossed into a bit of a salad. You're all The only passengers aside from mother. He's usually not this involved, but right now he wants to be right here. Sorry, everybody.
He knows there's cats in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
He heard me talk. He heard me talking.
It's like,
shit
let me
about
take
the
over
cats.
some clearings.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what he's doing. You're the only passengers aside from Andy and his smallish crew. There hasn't been much conversation yet over the meal. In the evenings, there rarely is. Everyone being tired from all the ship work and whatnot. Cabron, you're not gonna move from here, are you? Okay, I give up. I got a cat. Just right here. That's a solid cat. Let's check in. How's everyone doing? You're below deck a bit. There's candles and whatnot, so there's a bit of light. Maybe there's a little soup too. There's like a little soup, some like fresh green onions and whatnot. As a como se dice, garnish. Just something like that. A little flourish. Yeah. It's not for your head to rub on, bro. Yeah. How's everyone doing here at mealtime?
Yeah, I think I'm just enjoying this soup. Good soup, good life. That's what we sweet cheeks always say to each other.
This loosens a big guffaw from Captain Andy. He's an otter, by the way. Big bushy kind of mustache thing right here, very gray. He's had his years. His little rank denotes his hat as he's actually a commodore. He does command more than one ship in the fleet of the Riverfolk Company. But when he's out on his own boat, the Lady Steelwind, he insists everyone call him Captain Andy. Big laugh. He's like, oh yes, very wise. The soup is actually my grandmother's own recipe, and I love that you love that. I love sharing it with new people. Andy has been the one cooking most of the meals on the ship, aside from his captainly duties. Spreadsheets or whatever that is. I don't know how boats work. How's everyone else doing?
Rankle's probably kind of sit there just hunched over his bowl of soup and just slurping it down super obnoxiously. So even though Rankle is a mouse, he's like the size of a chunky rat. He's just a really big dude with kind of like this pale gray fur that's definitely started to gray in certain spots. Like he's definitely very well aged individual, sitting there with just kind of a basic like thick wool cloak just kind of hanging over himself, just secured with a little brooch. Kind of leaning up on the wall next to him are probably his weaponry. He's got a long bow and a little sword sitting there as he's just kind of looking around, kind of looks up towards Captain Andy as Captain's kind of playing the soup, and just a brief nod and just goes back to slurping this down.
Nice. Andy returns the nod. He's like, hungry one.
Growing boy.
Indeed, he says.
Yeah, I think Felix is just kind of fidgeting and quiet, sort of. He's eating his food, but he's sort of just like looking antsy. Like he's just eager to be off of this boat, I think, at this point. So I think he's just sort of like eyes sort of darting around the group, just like sort of just like a little ball of nervous energy right now. I think is Felix's vibe.
Felix?
And huh?
Sorry, no, I was just
yeah, so yeah, I think he's just sort of like fidgeting a lot and looking around the room, and just weird anxious energy from this guy. And I would say he's also a little bit older, like around the same age as Rankle, but I would say where Rankle has aged gracefully into like this beefy kind of like healthy looking big mouse. Felix is kind of the opposite, where he looks like a little bit mangy and like haggard. Like so they both age at kind of the same time, but Felix looks a little bit rough, I would say.
Oh, Felix.
And I think Beatrice's comment just sort of like raises an eyebrow, and it's just that Fleetcheeks seem to have a lot of phrases, lot of talking, lot of things to say. The Fleetcheeks clan seem to have a slogan for every mundane part of life.
Oh, well, you know, the more sayings you got, the more saying you can do. That's what we always say.
Profound.
You know, when you live with your family for over 10 generations, you know, across the forest, it's easy to kind of come up with a generational sort of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom, sure, that's wisdom, sure. Just goes back to the soup and just like, yeah.
I think like while everyone's like been conversating and talking, I think Blitz has just been like, instead of being like in his food or like fidgety or just relaxed, I think Blitz is just like leaning against his seat, trying to balance it out, also trying to balance the spoon on his beak, and it's just bored, but he's just trying to find things to do. And if I had to describe Blitz, I'd say, before, like I said before, he's a ornate hawk eagle, boyhood transitioning to manhood, so like 19, 20. His feathers are a mixture of white, black, and honeyed brown. He wears a leather armor that's been custom fitted to be like a black leather bomber's jacket with like a wool interior.
Oh yeah.
With like a bandolier of like cartoonish bombs, you know, the ones they light and with the wick and everything.
Absolutely, yes.
Like attached to his hip, and like on the wall behind him is just like a beautiful looking spear with the blade looking like a waxing crescent of a moon.
Ooh. Yes.
And he's just been balancing on the thing, trying to keep his balance. And he's just like, hey, it's a busy tree, you know? Busy tree, busy people, busy words. It's a whole thing. Oh.
Yeah, you know how Blitz and I go way back, right?
Sure. Yeah. Way. I'm sure you do go way back. How old are you again?
Beatrice is also basically around the same age as very young. I got too into the accent to describe her, but she
no, I love it.
No, yeah, please continue.
Really just a classic, like, you know, like very bright orange kind of squirrel, a little like, you know, some brown kind of highlights in some of her fur, and just the biggest, bushiest tail you've ever seen. And she's got, she doesn't have armor or anything, but she's got some similarly bright crimson robes that she wears. But she just looks, you know, even in squirrel terms, just kind of nondescript, but very squirrel. That's, you know, we don't like to show off too much in the Fleetcheeks, you know.
No, just a lot of wisdom.
I really feel like you understand, Felix. If you ever want to come by, we would, you know, we don't have soup this good, maybe. I wink at the otter. But, you know, we do our best.
You know, Beatrice, you were a delight, but I don't know if I could handle several dozen of you at one time. So I will take Felix, a rain check on that.
Come on, Felix, grow a little bit. You know, you can't be grumpy Gus all the time. You gotta
Blitzy, I've been grumpy since before you were born. Blitzy. I'm gonna stay grumpy.
No, fine. I guess it is endearing to your character. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right.
As y'all are conversing, you know, kind of finishing up your meal and stuff, Captain Andy, to anyone who will listen, is kind of starting into one of his favorite fables, folklores. Like, y'all have heard him actually tell it on this very trip already, at least once or twice. It's the demon and the handmaiden. It's very, it's like a kid's story, right? Like you would have been told this at bedtime or around the campfire, something like that, something just to entertain the kids. But as he's getting into his favorite part, the demon disguised as a mouse is attempting to get the handmaiden to guess his name, or he gets to steal her child, etc. Again, his favorite part. It's just Rumpelstiltskin, y'all. You hear a loud thud from the deck above, which is right above you, right? Because again, we're not on the largest ship, right? It's a riverboat, but not like the gambling kind, like old-timey, problematic U.S. times, but more like just a boat that is small enough to carry cargo, but big enough to carry cargo and small enough to fit on this river, right? Sorry, I had to make sure there's not the big wheel or anything spinning on this bad boy. Sorry, the Lady Steelwind. But you hear a thud, and then you begin hearing the alarm from the Watcher's nest up above, right? That y'all would know the lookout. Lydia Longbeak is a green heron, very like colorful plumage, etc. You hear the alarm, the bell ringing. You hear her shout, shouting, alarm, alarm, we're under attack.
Oh.
Andy jumps up.
Yeah.
And
oh dear.
He's like, stay here, folks. This is business, and you're passengers. We'll take care of this, right, crew? And the crew's like, yeah. No, they're enthused. They're right there. They're very loyal to Captain Andy, and they start grabbing like they've got like some spears and whatnot, some bows and arrows, and start to head above decks. How about y'all?
I think I give Rankle a look. Like, we're not gonna just stay down here, right?
Rankle's little beady eyes just kind of dart back to Felix, and he just kind of scoops up his bowl of soup and just slurps down the rest of the soup and just kind of slams the bowl down. Oh, I thought this was gonna be an easy trip. Kind of like stand up, and as he's standing, you just hear like every bone in his spine just popping and cracking. Just reaches over, he grabs his long bow and his sword, and just, all right, you coming, kids?
Blitz already gone.
Oh yeah, Beatrice has jumped on a table. She's like, we gotta help these nice folks out.
Yeah, I think we're all headed up.
Okay.
Like you're done all stretching and you're like, everybody ready? Everybody's gone.
Felix waits for you.
We'll say Blitz, since you were up and at him, we'll say. You and sounds like you and Sabina were that's not your character's name. Beatrice, the first ones to hit the deck, as it were, right? You don't really see a lot of commotion, but you do see the crew kind of standing in a circle around something. The ringing of the alarm and Lydia's shouting has stopped at this point as well. It was very brief, but it got everyone's attention, got you up here. You hear sort of like a groaning, kind of turning to like just sounds of pain coming from from where the crew is congregated. As you kind of weave your way in, you see there's another member of the crew, we'll go with Beaver. That's a river folk. Teddy? Yeah, we'll say it's Teddy. No last name. Why not? With just an arrow shaft sticking out of his leg right above the knee.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can hear him, Teddy, just wincing in pain. Explaining, I was just watching the deck, Captain. This flew out of nowhere from the woods out this way. I dropped as soon as it hit me. Oh, this is a stinger. The crew's medic, also Captain Andy. It's like he just begins to like, he's like, now, Teddy, this is gonna hurt, but on 3, I just need you to bare your teeth. So, and he's like, bite down on this. You give him like a cloth or something, right? And he's like 1, 2, and then on 2 just rips the arrow out. And then Andy starts. He applies a bandage. They give him a little grog, both for the wound and for him, right? Andy, as soon as he's done patching it up, it's like, oh, if that was any worse, we would have needed the leeches. They're not good at medicine back in the day.
Yowza.
Medicine's more of an art, not really a science, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of leeches and haircuts.
Can I do anything to look around and see if I can see anything from like the direction that the arrow came from? Like, I don't know if that's a move I can roll or if that's just something I can do.
That's just something you can do. I won't even take a roll. Actually,
well, if it's something you can do, I guess I can't help you.
No, that's me. I'm like flip-flopping right here. The danger has kind of passed, so like read a tense situation doesn't quite
work.
vibe,
yeah.
But I would. No, I would argue that maybe it is still tense. Y'all, it is. Never mind. I take it all completely back. Someone got shot in the leg with an arrow, and you don't know where it came from. Usually, read a tense situation is like kind of
you're in the middle
some of the people
something.
in the thick of it, but it absolutely applies here. So yeah, you can roll with cunning, and then your result depends. Basically, you have a list of questions, and then you'll roll to determine how many of those you get to ask. So yeah.
Okay, 8 with cunning.
Okay.
And I'm just reading the questions. I guess I'll read the question I'm thinking of is, what should I be on the lookout for? Because that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm like scanning the horizon, seeing if there's any hints of what just happened, or any information, I guess.
Yeah. So from where you're at, it being dark, it's a little hard to get a look, but you can see the riverbanks, right? They're quite a ways out. Sandy in some places, kind of overgrown with brush and whatnot in others. There's like kind of just like a natural little spot in somewhere, like there's like trees, some, but like other places would be clear to land or like, get to shore, whatever. Riverbank. Shores are for oceans or lakes. Get there and then head into the woods. You don't see any disturbances, like hear any sounds of anything coming from out there, but as you look around, you do see one thing, and that's something no one else has noticed yet. On the mast of the ship, that is the thing the sail is on, right? The clothes hanger. The mast of the ship, there is another arrow. And as you look closer, you see there is like a note wrapped around the shaft of the arrow.
Oh, I'll scurry up and get it. Yeah,
you get it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much at like eye height or something. So, you're just asleep now, you bastard. His head's on my keyboard. Anyway, you're able to just like, grab it. And you unfurl it, and it's just very simple, kind of drawn crudely. You feel like it's drawn with like a bit of charcoal or something, not drawn, written. It just says, "Stay out of our marshes," and there's just an X where a signature would be.
I show it to the group.
You should be on the lookout for whoever
wrote that.
Yes, exactly.
Point seems like they want us to stay out of their marshes.
Do you think that's their name, or that's the symbol of their band? We need to figure out a symbol for us.
Blitz.
Oh no,
Blitz.
What's up?
They're just not writing their name. They probably can't write very well. So
still gotta think of a vagabond team
maybe
symbol.
That's a future problem. Maybe that seems like more of an immediate issue. Why don't you think about that and get back to us with your symbol idea?
Aye.
Do you show the note to Captain Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would look at the group first, but I'll just make eye contact with Rankle.
Rankle is just now getting to the top of the stairs. And you can see, like,
cool
around his mouth, like, it is just stained from the soup that was not there when you were down there. You can tell he just fucking ate more. As he makes his way up. Right.
Fantastic.
What's
You
going
can't
on up here?
waste good soup.
Yeah,
Excellent soup.
especially when it's hot, you know.
Okay, anyway, I show you the note. So you're caught up.
Well, I mean, I feel like we gotta go there now, right?
Yeah, do we tell the captain though? We want him, or are we going on foot
How
the
long
rest of the
have
way?
we been traveling on this boat with the captain? How long has this river trip been?
It's like tonight will be your third sleep.
Okay.
And the captain is from here, right? Is from the clearing we're going
No,
to?
they're.
Interestingly enough, no.
I don't
Captain
know.
Andy,
Yeah.
and he'll tell anyone that'll listen, is with the Riverfolk Company. They are a faction that is fairly new to the woodland. Unlike the others, they're not really controlling clearings, fighting in this war, right? They saw the war as an opportunity to make a profit, so they've come from a clearing, or from a woodland north of here. The Riverfolk Company came down the endless lake, which, as we all know, has an end. It's a misnomer.
Business.
But when it was named, they the critters really thought there was no end to it, because no one had ever been and come back. But then one day, people from the north are coming down, so they're like, shit, this got an end. Anyway, the Riverfolk Company comes over the lake in the north, and then down the rivers and trades here and there. There's not many of them. Captain Andy, his 3 ships are probably the only 3, and he's on this one. The other 2 are, like scurrying around the woodland doing their own thing. They're trying to get established as a trading company, make business, etc. Andy's probably offered you like at least 4 or 5 different jobs this whole trip. Like, oh, you could join up the crew as a bodyguard. He's like, we're always looking for a good lookout. Like, salesman. Running a booth in one of the clearings would be a really great thing to have. Just keeps, and he always insists that getting paid in Riverfolk script is gonna be a solid investment for you. It's just gonna be a thing of the future. There are very few clearings or denizens that accept it as trade, and those that do usually will at half the value of regular currency. So keep that in mind when he's shoving bills in your face. That's just me though.
How far away are we from our destination right now?
You will be docking at Gramble's log by morning.
Okay.
I think as you two are doing your secret adult thing,
we're speaking an old man right now.
Getcha.
Blitz just is like leaning over both of you, and is like, well, we could see if he's gotten attacks like this before. We wouldn't want to just head out in the marsh without information now, would we?
Probably not, but at the same time, no, he might be too scared to take us the rest of the way.
The rest of the way, that's what I'm thinking too.
What do you think, Beatrice?
Well, I didn't want to intrude, but I think that someone needs to tell these people that their system for message delivery is quite dangerous,
I think that was the point. It's very, very much the point.
It was okay.
A threat, what you would call a threat. Yes.
Game Master, looking over at Captain Andy, what kind of vibe am I getting from him? Does he look panicked at all from this? Does he look like, oh, this is a normal occurrence type deal? What's he looking like?
For those familiar with the reference, he looks like Joe Exotic when he says, "I will never financially recover from this." He's nervous. He's like, "Don't worry, I'm the medic. I'm the med." No, he's actually, his focus is on Teddy, on getting his crew person the medical attention that he needs. They don't really have a gurney, on the Lady Steel Wind. So 4 of the other crew are like kind of hoisting him up, and Andy's like directing them down below deck so they can get him on a cot or a bed to, you know, further clean the wound, etc. But I'll say with that, Rita, this will come with, like, since y'all are looking and stuff, he looks nervous, right? Like, this isn't great for him.
I think, you know, probably the arrows getting shot is going to be just as likely to scare anyone off as seeing the note itself, no?
Fair enough.
Captain, who'd you piss off?
I look over at Rankle and I'm like, I think we're the ones who pissed off a lot of people here.
Rankle just kind of shrugs.
So are we telling the captain then?
I think you just did.
Yeah, that's just happening.
I think he deserves to know.
Hey, we might get a discount.
True.
You know,
Felix gives a deep sigh at these very young, very honest adventurers, and then walks over to the captain with the note.
Mm-hmm. It's yeah. He's like, hold on, wait a sec while we get, and then he's like, what is a note? And then we'll say you offer it. He reads it, and he's like, oh, this is most alarming.
I will say, I think this is directed at our group, and I think if you drop us off your return trip, I don't think you'll be bothered.
Your group, you say? Well,
it's my suspicion.
Who'd you piss off?
The better question would be, who did we not piss off, I think?
Do you know of any groups around that would, you know, choose to relay information in this kind of way? I'd like to use my talent on the pulse move.
Excellent.
When I gather information about the goings-on in a clearing, which presumably this still works for, I roll with cunning.
We'll say, yeah, this will work in terms of just obviously your information gathering is from Captain Andy. We'll even include the crew as well. Like, any crew that are around are happy to, like, you know, inform you of any rumors you've heard.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been
also
hyping up their, like, soup, and they're like, you know, what a great job they're doing this whole time.
Right, absolutely. Also, we'll say that despite being on the water, the pigeon post is aware of y'all, so there has been, not a lot, but there has been some correspondence coming and leaving the ship. Like, after the first day, you know, a courier from the pigeon post, like, swooped down, had letters, and then took whatever the crew had, and went back off to their closest depot or whatever, right? So yeah, there's a possibility for getting stuff. We'll say we'll limit it to Gramble's log, since that's the clearing we're headed to. But yeah, let's see your roll. It's with cunning. Excellent.
I'm embarrassed to ask this, but how do I add cunning?
You'll just, on your character sheet, on the
Perfect.
character tracker we got, you look at your whatever you have on your cunning and you add it to your roll.
Perfect. Okay, so let me roll. Okay, I rolled a 5 and looking for my cunning. Okay, so that is, I have a 0 for my cunning right now. I will double check that, but in the meantime, that's a 5.
They start to tell you everything they've heard about Gramble's log. It's just such an overload of information that nothing is useful.
Perfect.
Yeah. One of them lets you know she has a girlfriend in Gramble's log, and they've been writing letters, and, you know, we're going out to dinner. I think we'll be in the clearing. We'll be docked for a few days. So I'm even thinking of getting a real good night's sleep at one of the inns there at the Laughing Dragon. Sorry, the Laughing Demon. Dragons aren't real. Or
I think
But demons
my
are? Wait a
Sure, you
minute.
could
Wait
name
a minute.
it.
Time out. Time out. Wait a minute. So dragons aren't real, but demons are?
I
so no. Y'all would know that. So the idea of demons exists in Midwater in the woodland, but it's very much tied in like fairy tale folklore, right? So demons are like kids' tales. They're the bogeyman. They're at the root of every, fable or what have you. The scorpion and the fox or whatever. That scorpion was a demon. Stuff like that. It's like the root of any fairy tale is like a fucking demon. And to people of Midwater and really the world at large, demons look like humans for some reason. They don't have a concept of humans, but that if they were to describe a demon to you, it would look like a human. But this is all just lore in the world. It's my own too, so you're not gonna find it in the root book anyway. But no, as far as y'all know, it is all just it'd be like someone here calling a tavern like Goku's Palace. I don't know.
I had my cunning and my finesse switched, so I've switched them back. I don't think it would have mattered for the role. But I think Beatrice, her classic Fleetcheeks hospitality means that she has to like really engage with this person. She's like totally down for the count.
I think it would have mattered because if your cunning is a 2.
Cunning.
My cunning is a 1, so it was a 6.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, that's still it would still count as a failure unless someone wants to help, in which case someone can take 1 exhaustion and help push this up to a successful okay, so Blitz, let's say you step in, so mark that exhaustion, and a rare showing of charm, you're able to like filter the noise that's coming in and get specific enough information that you'll be able to ask one of the questions on your move there.
I think the negative to charm for the aid is just like that wrap it up motion of like
let's get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll give me the the kind of strength to end that conversation and kind of like wrap it back around to like.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love this. Yeah, so you get any one of those questions on the list.
Cool. Yeah, I will ask.
Oh wait, just kidding. You get 2 on a 7.
Okay. Right, on a 7 to 9 ask 2. Yep.
Yeah, my bad.
Which is good because on a miss, my questions tip off someone dangerous too. So this is not a good one to miss on.
Oh right, yeah, that would have been a thing.
I'm gonna ask, what are the denizens afraid of, and who holds power in this clearing?
Gotcha. I'll answer the first one first. It's easier. Right now, the clearing of Gramble's log is experimenting with this thing called democracy. It's something rarely seen, if ever, in this part of the world in Midwater. Midwater's always been, at best, fascist monarchy. At Area dynasty. Let's call it what it is. At worst, just chaos. Right. Self-rule usually takes messy forms in Midwater, but Hayfield and Anura's clearing being the exception, Hayfield maybe being the example right now of that, how messy that can be by its being taken over by the Woodland Alliance. However, Gramble's log has seen peace and progress since y'all helped the people take back the clearing. Much of this is because of the influence of the Anura, one of the larger, if anything, they're like a social political like group, collective is a good word for it. Anura were originally from souther than the Great Southern Lake. They're the ones who originally settled Gramble's log. They just have very deep roots of justice, equality, etc. to the core of their culture, right? So right now there is a council of, not quite elders, right, but a council of people selected by the community. Each seat on the council is voted on by the entire community of Gramble's log, and then the position of speaker is assigned like it rotates among the members of the council. So one year it's this person, this currently, and y'all would def know this. The current speaker's name is Amelia Clear-Eyes, is a frog, also a member of the Anura. So they're not exclusive. Like not all frog folk are Anura, not all Anura are frog folk, but most of them, right? They do accept people of any critter type, right? That'd be shitty if they didn't. But yeah, predominantly frog folk, as is the clearing of Gramble's log. Definitely plenty of members of other critter folk, right? Fox, mouse, bunny, etc., possum, what have you. But yeah, the power, if you can call it that, is with the speaker and the council, who y'all kind of helped put into power, right? And then what are the denizens afraid of? The letter that y'all's friend Bale Watercrest sent you was dripping with worry and concern, not only for Glenda Strong River, his missing captain, but also just for the clearing of Gramble's log. Altogether, he spoke of mistrust brewing amongst the denizens, mistrust of the council, mistrust of each other, mistrust of the world at large. The disappearings are very much what they're afraid of, from what you've heard. And the crew can attest to that. The things they've started hearing out of Gramble's log are not great. One of them, Captain Andy, starts spinning a story about a great feral bear that has come down from the woodlands and now swims the shallows of the marshlands and is snatching up denizens in the night to feast on. You all know that bears are real, but they are rare. They're not always monstrous, right? Misunderstood at best. Y'all could form your own opinions on bears and what you think, right? Think of like an ogre in the woods. No one's gonna fuck with that, right? They rarely make contact with the clearings, but you don't want to run into them in the woods. Very rare, very odd that one would start just coming down the shallows and like abducting denizens, but it's been known to happen. Another tells rumors of pirate ships that have been drifting along the edge of the marshes, right where the lake begins to deepen, right? And some sort of people from beyond the lake, right, beyond the Great Southern Lake, have come up and are now stirring up trouble for who knows what nefarious means. Another denizen, or a crew member, a crow of just kind of generic description, right? It's got one of those little bandana and the stripy shirt, very like Misadventures of Flapjack kind of outfit. Comes up to you after everyone else is kind of dispersed and kind of says, I hope I'm not taking up too much of your time, but they're all wrong, The bear, that's ridiculous. Pirates haven't been seen in Midwater since before the time of the Peregrine King. It's something else. And it's terrible. That's all I can say. That's all I know. Please, don't tell anyone don't tell anyone about this conversation. And she goes off to sweep or something. I don't know.
Which is like,
really on it with the boat chores.
Let's just like leans in like into Beatrice, and it's just like that. There's ominous, and then there's that is wow.
Well, that was pretty scary. But when the going gets scary, the Fleetcheeks, well, we get going.
That's good.
Wow.
Wow.
Blitz, you would know because you were, I think your family was kind of close to the Fleetcheeks who lived on your neck of the woods, because they have trees all over. That all the sayings that we say, everyone says them differently. There's like not any consistency.
There's no cohesion. There's no legacy. There's just saying.
It's like a horrible game
just
of telephone.
Constant chittering and chatting.
Absolutely.
It's like a high school yearbook, like quotes picture. Everyone's got different quotes, and you're like, what the hell?
So after our conversation with the captain, does it seem like he's still gonna continue on? Or
oh yeah, let's say this wraps up. You find Captain Andy attending Teddy below deck, right? He's got a jar of leeches out, like on standby,
just in case.
Just in case. He's just like, don't worry, I took lessons from the best surgeon barber there is beyond the lake.
Reassuring.
Last Project reference, I swear. No, it's not. There's a lot of nautical things happen. It's not.
Rock with it, man.
You know, he's like, don't worry, Teddy. You'll get through this. You'll walk again. Even have to carve you the peg myself. Okay, I'm sorry. You inquire as to the state of the journey. He's, you know, as we say in the Riverfolk Company, the river of commerce flows on. So we are headed to Gramble's log. Come.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one. I'm gonna. Beatrice writes it down.
Just a million mottos with this group.
No one will ever know. It just takes it.
Just jot that one down. Absolutely. Captain Andy kind of is like, you know, it's getting late in the evening. We'll be arriving at Gramble's log quite early. You all may, I suggest you take to your cabins. We'll say somehow you all each have your own cabin on this tiny ass boat. Hostel common rooms are for the clearings. That'll be fun. Or hostel-esque, we'll say. Maybe I'll just have one big room, like 4 bunks. Right, 2 on either. There's like on 2 walls, and you've got a little porthole as well. Etc. But yeah, it's up to you whether you do or not, right? It's everyone's move.
Rankle is gonna go back to the kitchen, to the giant soup bar, and he's just eating soup. He's a giant rat. He doesn't sleep. He's just enjoying some soup, and if he can, he just gets like a freaking big ass tankard of coffee and just starts chugging that down.
Captain Andy sees you drinking the coffee, and he kind of sidles on over. He's like, "Well, I see you won't be getting any sleep tonight, my friend. Maybe we could take this as an opportunity. Now, you folk don't seem the most inexperienced from what I can see. You look like you know how to wield both that sword and longbow.
I've had my fair share of scraps, as is Felix. The youngins, they're a bit less graceful, but they know what they're doing.
I see, yes. Well, as you can tell, this whole experience is quite unnerving for us. And I know it would reassure the crew to have, let's say, some extra eyes above decks tonight. If I may ask, I know everyone needs their rest, even when getting up in years, people such as us. He says, he's kind of coughs when he's under his breath when he says that. But I'd be forever grateful if you could perhaps accompany Lydia above decks. Keep watch, lest anything else happen this evening. Happy to pay, obviously. No one does any work around here without getting paid. That is also the river.
Felix appears behind him as he says that and says, "We'd be happy to help." Just silently padding into the kitchen. listening the whole time, and then here's money. And
Yeah.
Money signs appear in their eyes.
yeah.
So yeah, Captain Andy is like, yes, the more the merrier. However, I would be asking you to stay up the whole night. Right? We're very, again, it would go a long way in reassuring the crew. And you never know. This may be the beginning of a long, dangerous evening. So he makes an offer. We'll say, rules-wise, mechanically speaking, he's offering you 2 value worth of Riverfolk company
one.
script, which it would be worth 1 in other clearings, or possibly nothing. But trading with him, if you get the full value of the script. That's how company towns work. That's what he's.
A great idea. So good.
Right? No, the Riverfolk company is shady. The Riverfolk script is in the rulebook, by the way. That isn't it's not a Miguel original. They are shady. That's what he offers. But anyone who takes up the offer, and it's open to all 4 of you, would take on 1 exhaustion for staying awake through the night. Anyone sleeps through the night, you get to clear 1 exhaustion.
Rankle will take
But
it.
I know only one of you has it. There you go.
Yeah. Felix will too.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Beatrice too, if there's a need for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a vantage point on the deck of the ship that I can kind of climb to?
Lydia's got the lookout nest covered. I don't want to call it crow's nest because that seems like something they wouldn't come up with in this in this world.
It's just nests. It's just a nest.
Wait, you said bugs are like animals, right? So maybe it's like the dragonfly's nest or something.
I love it. That's what it is. Yeah, the dragonfly's nest. But Captain Andy he wants eyes everywhere, so he asked if you could just kind of patrol the deck, keep your eyes out on the riverbanks, etc., for anything Lydia might miss. What about Blitz? Blitz staying up and partying, or?
Hold on, let's roll die. Let's see.
Blitz needs to sleep.
Let's see if we're doing.
Blitz already marked an exhaustion.
I think Beatrice would try to convince Blitz to sleep, maybe.
Yeah, so would Felix.
I said okay. I said I odds I go to sleep, tails I stay up, or evens I stay up. I got an even, so I'm staying up.
No.
I think he like waits until everyone's out the room. Does the classic, and he's like, and he goes, and he just like goes straight up to the dragonfly's nest.
Mm-hmm. You fly up there, and there's def room for 2. Lydia's up there, the green heron, and she sees you approaching, says, "Oh, happy to have some company. Very scary times we're having tonight."
Can't imagine. I mean, getting shot with an arrow isn't exactly peaceful.
I don't know what else. I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming to Gramble's logs. We've all heard the rumors, but this is not at all what we thought it would be like.
Someone doesn't want us here, so all the more reason to go, right?
Well, I mean, I knew, and she said, I knew some people are against the Riverfolk company. They don't like us outsiders, they say, coming in and buying up all the stuff and selling them cheap plastic foreign goods. Not the plastic part. Cheap foreign goods from, they call us disreputable, but we all take it in stride. But this is awful. I didn't sign up to get shot.
Sometimes business has you getting shot at.
What sort of business are you in?
The getting shot business.
Oh my. Is that why the captain asked you all out here tonight?
Pretty much. Don't tell anyone I'm here, though. If someone of my party comes up here, I may have to run. They may try to make me go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Bird's the word, she says, which among bird folk is like a common idiom, means, your secret's safe with me.
See, everybody's got sayings.
Everyone's got sayings.
Or it is. Now that song's gonna be stuck in my head the rest of my life. It's like I'm playing Just Dance on the Wii all over again. The evening, it's last nighttime now. It progresses uneventfully, right? There, aside from some rustling in the woods, the sounds carry over the water a bit. You know, which could be anything. Critters scurrying around the woods. Not critters like y'all, but, you know, woodland critters. Also, how weird would it be a woodland devoid of birdsong that people wouldn't just recognize as like, hey, Larry.
Hey, I'm talking. It's morning. It's morning over here. Wake up.
But there's plenty of insect chitter chatter and whatnot. You know, crickets making the violin noise with their legs. The tusked beetles rooting around. You know, think of them as like boar kind of deals. Other big bugs like that. As the sun begins to rise in the east, it's regular, like here, east to west, we'll say, just we're not gonna make things weird. You start to see sort of the beginnings of Gramble's log down the river. It starts as just a few like fishing huts and stuff, you'd assume, some sort of like a lot of homes up on like wooden stilts, like on risers, right, to stay above the marsh water. They start to thicken a bit. You know, there's a little bit more clustered together. You're just very much at the edge of the clearing right now, but the closer you get, the tighter it gets for the ship to have to try to maneuver down until you sort of squeeze through one spot. You're not quite sure you'll get through, but then it widens out at the end quite a bit, and then the river flows, and then eventually you spill out into the river, or not, sorry, into the actual Great Southern Lake, and then you sort of just coast for a little ways and you see Gramble's log on the shore as you do, but then you eventually dock on the southern end of Gramble's log with other ships of similar size. There's one in particular, quite large, that y'all would identify as a ship capable of making the journey south across the Great Southern River, or Southern Lake. I'm gonna be doing that a lot tonight. So you can only assume it's come from some woodland far off. Otherwise, yeah, you see the lake itself is already like kind of freckled with fishing boats, like small vessels, medium-sized ones. You know, like it's a very big part of the community here. They get out very early, so even before you're docking, they're already, much activity there. The docks themselves are very vibrant, very alive with action. Think of Belle walking through the town in the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, but she's not just talking shit on everyone in a song. There's none of that going on.
She loves this provincial town.
Right. That's what she says. I don't fucking believe it. Anyway. Captain Andy thanks you for your service, right? Pays you all. So you can each add an item to your equipment. This isn't value per se, but it is a stack of Riverfolk Company script. We'll say is the title of the item. It has a value of 1 or 2 when traded with members of the Riverfolk Company. And so, of course, you could split the stack. And, if you wanted to do 1 in script with the Riverfolk Company and save the rest for a rainy day, you absolutely could.
So it said 1 for everybody else. 1 for everybody else, 2 for Riverfolk Company. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Captain Andy lets you know that he'll be around the clearing for a while. He's hoping to get an audience with the council, get allowed to set up some sort of presence here, like a small shop, or even just a stall in one of the bazaars, swap meet kind of deals around the clearing. Something that they have an official presence, so that somewhere they could bring their ships when they're not tooling around the woodland trying to make a deal. He says, hopefully you'll be able to visit us at our first storefront. If not, the Lady Steelwind will be here at least a week. So if you need anything from us, please come call on Captain Andy. And that script's good whenever you need. So you need something out of the stock, you come buy it from me. I'll even give you a discount beyond what the script's worth. You did me a solid last night, and I don't forget that. Dude, in my other campaign, Captain Andy's such a mess. He's drunk and he cries all the time. He lost his ship. No. He doesn't have a ship.
I love this secret life of Captain Andy. Yeah, I think with that we head out. And do we know where our friend Bale lives or would be?
Bale, being the head of a fisher, fishing crew, he'd either be on the water at this time.
It's like dawn right now, right?
Right. Or if not, he'll be loading up one of his ships to get it out there, or maybe, coming back with their first catch. He did tell you where his small fleet docks at night, like so you'd know where to find his spots, right? His here on the docks and whatnot. And you're also aware where his home is, right? So yeah, there's that.
So maybe we walk over and see if he's left yet. Just check. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say, crew? Cool. Yeah. Your band departs. The Lady Steelwind kind of have to maneuver around members of the crew that are, again, they're unloading cargo. Classic big boxes down the ramp thing kind of deal.
I say goodbye to as many of them individually as I can.
Oh yeah, they all love it. They've very, very taken, right? They think y'all look great, especially for your cat, bro. Especially grateful for y'all staying up and helping guard the ship the rest of the evening. They're just, again, expressing gratitude that y'all one of us now, members, honorary members of the River Folk Company.
Felix looks visibly uncomfortable and is walking past them as fast as he can.
No, but yeah, y'all can you swipe at me, bro. Y'all can add a fifth faction to your character sheet. Ooh. And gain 2 little checkboxes of reputation.
Wow.
So I think I gain an extra one with one of my abilities when that happens.
Do tell.
Whenever you mark any amount of prestige with a faction, mark 1 additional prestige because I have a sterling reputation.
There you go. So you get 3.
Cool.
Dang. That's fantastic. Way to go, y'all. Okay, so where do we head to find Felix?
I think Bale, you mean?
I mean, sorry, I totally meant Bale. I think it's because I was looking at you and I was like,
yeah.
Felix is still finding himself.
Yeah, so true. He'll never be found. He's not interested. He's not looking, that's why. I think we head to where Bale's ship would be just to see if he's left for the day or not, if we can catch him before he heads out.
Absolutely. It's not a far walk there, but just like you had to maneuver around the crew, they're like other, again, there's the hustle and the bustle of the docks is no joke. So it takes you maybe, it takes you a little bit to weave through the traffic, but no incidents as you go around. I'll say, we'll get out of here, or I'll keep grooming you. Who did the tense situation? It was Beatrice?
I think that was me. Felix. Beatrice did the asking for information.
Oh, no. Sorry. So no, that was right. Yeah. So since you did your talent on the pulse,
more of a paw.
There you go.
Pulse.
Perfect. You notice an extra weight in one of your pockets.
I'll check it out.
You find two things. One, there's well, no, we'll say it's one thing.
I'll kind of hide behind my tail as I'm doing that too, so that people around me don't see. Not necessarily my friends so much as just like randos on the docks.
Right. It's you pull out. There's going to be such a theme in this game. A mysterious note.
I read it.
I love it.
As you unfold it, it's like, oh, it was like folded up like this, and you can feel there's something in there as well, like wrapped up in the paper of the note. As you unwrap it, there is one like steel coin. It's like smallish, we'll say probably maybe like about the size of a quarter, but it does not look like any actual currency you've ever seen before. It's polished, it's shiny. Like you've never seen a coin this shiny, like ever. No one has, right? But the coin has two symbols on each side. One is the skull of a rabbit, and on the other side is a bird's talon, just like the whole like claw talon guy, like that, right? The note is simple, very kind of elegant hand that it's written in. It just says, if you insist on pursuing this, find Cleo at the trinket shop and tell her you have this to trade.
I commit the note to memory and then I eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Just full on. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You chomp it down.
Actually, I'm going to stick the coin in my cheek too. That's the most safe place for anything. It does not taste good.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, I don't have any official squirrel abilities, but I feel like one of them is that I can put stuff in my cheek and speak normally.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Then I'll kind of call everyone over.
You broke Christian with that.
I'm more in love with our game master's reaction of, oh, okay, yeah, sure, go for it. Yeah, you can't. This is the thing you can do.
Technically possible.
I'm sorry. Do we not all eat notes and put things in our, various?
It was just, I ate it. You're like, okay, amazing, fantastic.
I'll just say you don't have to roll anything for this.
Yeah.
For the consequence of eating a medal. Anyway,
I'm not eating the medal.
It's
just
no, I know, but
There's just stuff in there.
Isn't that worse though?
Yeah.
No, but you're fine. You're great. So you do that, and you're on your way. You eventually make it to where you would expect to see Bale, and in fact, you do. He is there with a few of his crew. You've not met them before, right? And looks like they're loading up a ship, a small, like fishing boat, try to get it out onto the water. He sees you approach. He's a larger frog. He's got the big shoulders from fishing. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of hoisting involved.
Your boat knowledge is really shining today.
Hey, I've been on a boat before.
He's just keeling and hauling, and the other one.
Yeah, all of them at once. I've even gone tubing before that happened.
Which direction is port?
South. Wait,
sure,
no,
could be. I guess technically could be.
It depends on where. It's the after dinner wine. Right? It depends on where you keep it, like which.
Yeah, that's so true. It is a dessert wine. Yeah.
Fantastic.
No, so he sees you approach. You can see him kind of like, yeah, you guys keep taking care of this. Comes at you with just arms wide. He says, "My friends, I did not know if you would arrive or come. Thank you so much." And he just like he's offering a hug to anyone who will.
Oh, I'm taking that hug.
Yeah. He he like picks you up. He's like, Beatrice, it's been too long.
Oh, Bale,
Sets you back down.
How you been? Well, I guess not good because we read the letter.
Yeah, big sigh from Bale. He says, indeed. As you can see, things are not as good as when we last saw each other. Without, I named her Glenda. Without Glenda, one of my vessels is having a hard time getting out and fishing, and I understand. To lose a colleague and a friend like that is just devastating. We all hope to see her again, but with everything that's been going on in the clearing, his voice kind of like noticeably hushes when he says that. We aren't holding out much hope, but please, I beg you, help us find her.
We're gonna do everything we can, Bale.
That's all one can do in life.
I guess if he's like focused on this, we can go right into kind of like asking him questions like, you know, where was she last seen, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Just get any information while we have them here.
Yeah, he lets you know that Glenda, you know, he starts off, one of the strongest fishers I've ever seen in my days. You know, me being the last of my line. It's the polite way they say it, not having kids, right? Glenda, I took her on as a protege. I'd like to think of her as kind of like a niece, almost, right? When my time comes, when I no longer set out on the waters and enjoy my remaining days just resting in the marshlands, maybe settling into a swampclave somewhere else, I see Glenda taking over this. But sadly, that may not come to pass. As far as what happened, the last we saw her, we had finished a long day out on the waters. An especially good catch, if I recall. We all sat for a bit of dinner together at a nearby inn and tavern, the Laughing Demon. We parted ways after our meal and a couple of ciders and ales to ease into the evening. Glenda let us know she would be heading out to her parents' home. They're a bit on the older side. And she was bringing them a spot of food, and I'm sure a rousing tale to entertain them through the night. The next day, she didn't show up for her shift for our departure. We thought maybe she'd fallen ill, something, you know, she got caught up with her parents being elderly and all. We had to set off, so we didn't think to send word, expecting to see her when we returned. She was nowhere to be found. I sent one of the crew up to the outskirts to where her parents live. Not even really in Gramble's log anymore. It's practically just the wild marshlands at that point. But, you know, old frogs, stubborn in their ways, refuse to leave the swamp sometimes. Marshlands, though. Swamps have trees. This does not. It's a marsh. I had to look it up. So I wanted to make sure. Yeah. Just set in their ways in the marshes, and they couldn't be happier. Well, Rufus, yeah, we'll say that's who the crew member was, returned, and her parents say she never made it that night and has been missing ever since. single tear, just kind of like right there, you know.
Okay, Bale. We can start by backtracking her path, talking to people at the inn, talking to their parents again, see if anyone's heard anything, saw anything strange. Do what we can.
Out of curiosity, what's her relation?
Oh, yes.
Question.
Not the closest friends, but no no bad blood or anything between them. Rufus worked a different ship than hers, so we all have dinner, drinks, those sort of things. Company company softball team every now and then. They'd run into each other, but not much interaction throughout the day themselves.
Any other sort of animosity between her and anyone else on the various crews? I mean, you mentioned maybe wanting to leave this all to her at the end. Maybe anyone jealous?
You can tell. Well, maybe you can't. He just says, he's like, oh, I could never see anyone on the crew doing anything that would harm Glenda. Am I saying Gladys? It's Glenda.
Yeah. Did she
literally
seem
written
normal?
down in front of me. She seemed in high spirits, yes. She loves those old frogs of hers, and tending to their needs, helping care for them, truly did bring her joy. A better frog I've never known. Except for the all frog, like crosses himself. That's not. They don't have an all. They don't have an all frog.
Are there GM, are there like guards around like the borders of this town?
Not really that you've seen yet. You do know that, yes, Gramble's log does have like a formal like town guard. But you've not really seen any. You haven't seen any on the docks yet. If you comment on that or something, Bale will tell you that the docks kind of take care of themselves, right? It's no nonsense around here. The guards are rarely needed out here. Everyone's here to work.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that like no one like saw her leave. At all.
In that case, yes. There would have been guards at the west gate. That's the way she would have gone out. That would have seen her leave that evening.
And
something like that. Yeah, there would be.
How has the council gone about searching for Glenda and these other missing people? Have they mounted search parties? Has there been any formal investigation? Have they been helping you? How's that been going?
He sighs, big frog sigh. There's even like kind of a croak to it, You all spent enough time around the frog folk. The folk of Gramble's log to know that that's sort of it's a complicated expression. It expresses sort of disappointment and frustration all in one, somewhere in between that. He says, the council have begun talks. And another point that you all would know in terms of how they operate is, aside from one of the deep-rooted customs of the Nura, and that have also taken root in Gramble's log, is vibrant and prolonged political discussion and debate. So the talks, right, could go on for days before it's even decided what course of action they will take to look for the missing people. And that's essentially what Bale communicates as well. So they've been at it for a week now.
How many people are missing?
They haven't even sent out any of the regular cars on extended, but no one's done anything?
Well, yes, they've sent some, and a search party, small as it is, has gone out.
But no real resources put into it.
a few days after each disappearance, the efforts begin to die down. There's been no mounted effort, large, like to search the marshlands, just the places these folk were last seen. Much of that sort of investigation work. There is some in the clearing who are hesitant to believe that these disappearances are even related. And we'll say he tells you there's been 5 up to now. Glenda being
five disappearances.
Being the latest.
All
And
frogs?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We'll say
I didn't know if I missed that.
3 have been frogs, 1 a possum, and another a badger.
And was there anything else that they had in common?
Just that they were all from here, from Gramble's log.
Did they all disappear in similar places? Were they all sort of on the outskirts of town?
Or similar times?
Yes and yes. They've all been on the outskirts, or headed towards the outskirts of the clearing, or even some travel where one will say, sorry, I'm trying to find my map and I just need to zoom out to see it. Okay, there it is. One was traveling to 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙧 Falls, which y'all know is to the north and west of here. What's up with my camera? I don't care. Never made it. Right. That was maybe, Bale's just giving you all this, all the tea, right? That was the badger. They left probably before anyone realized there were even disappearances. It was just the fact that that he never returned, from 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙧 Falls. It should have been a there and back again situation. Not like there and back again, where it took Bilbo 35 years to even do the thing, but he would just actually go
a regular trip.
A regular little business trip with an overnight in 𝙒𝙧𝙧𝙧 Falls, right?
No
3 days.
No notes left by anybody,
Correct.
Any perpetrator saying, "Hey, we did this. Don't go on the mark." None of that.
No. The note
I think I pull out the note that we got and I show it to Bale.
His eyes go wide, and you see him turn a shade of green. You didn't know he could get that light, right? He says, no, nothing like this has been seen at all. There've been no messages, no threats, no demands, nothing. Just denizens missing in the night.
Have there been any other kind of strange occurrences?
Well, rumors of a bear.
We heard those, yeah.
But who knows the truth to that? Honestly, the strangest, most exciting things happened around here. Well, in a while, you all were there. You all were right here for it, dare I say. Since then, we've just gotten to the work of rebuilding the log. There's not an actual log. It's just the name of, they call it clearing, right? Mm-hmm. Making sure there are homes for all, that the catch, referring to the fish, is plentiful so that all may eat. Doing the work of any community, of any clearing, just making sure we're all taken care of.
I fully trust Bale, right?
You'd have no reason to distrust him.
Okay.
Right?
I think I'm gonna kind of gather the group then and show them the coin, and specifically Bale, to see if he knows anything.
You just spit it out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to dig around in there. There's some other stuff.
Oh.
Jeez. I will say you also always have the option to roll to figure someone out. It gives you basically like a temporary resource to spend on asking questions throughout your conversations or interactions with them. The questions are directed to me. They're not directed to the character, but all of my answers will be true. Like, it's not you might think that, right? It's just straight, like, I will just tell you whether, and you just somehow get that from your conversation. If not directly, you glean it. But yeah, that's always an option anytime you're talking to people. But you show the coin. He says, where did this come from?
I found it in my pocket on the dock. I'm not sure if it came from someone on the boat we took in, or if I found it kind of after we had disembarked, right? So
correct.
I'm not sure. It could have been someone on the docks as well, but I did kind of get a cryptic warning from one of the crew members. But it came with a note that said to find Cleo, and I'm trying to like keep my voice down if there's any people around, but
Cleo, huh? From the trinket shop.
Yeah.
I'm not one to speak ill of anyone, but that's quite the eccentric crow, if I might say so myself. Yes, Cleo runs Glitz and Glamour. Grammar, that'd be weird. Something of a trinket and curio shop here in the log. A favorite of the children, of course. They love to go in and gawk at all of the rare, curious items she carries, keeps there. Very odd, he says. I wouldn't know that she'd ever been involved in anything beyond her marbles and broken clocks, but these are strange times. But the coin, he says, that is something I have never seen before. Are you sure this isn't? He's kind of just looking at it like, it's so clean. Even he's like kind of bewildered by how clean and just pristine it is.
Yeah, I don't know. A rabbit and a bird. That doesn't mean much to me. Does it? Does it mean much to any of you? Looking around at my crew.
I would assume not, right?
The rabbit and one of the.
It's a skull of a rabbit.
One of the crew does, in fact. It's like, oh, you mean like the hawk and the rabbit? I mean, everyone knows it. The little kid's story.
No.
Oh, like a children's
hawk.
tale?
Yeah, some call it the prey and the predator. Huh. Yeah, well, as the story goes, a rabbit was strolling down a path through the woodland on his way to some clearing or another. The clearings change every time the story is told, looking for whatever it is rabbits look for when they travel. Comes upon a wounded hawk in the road, right? And the hawk begs and says, please, Sir Hare, will you assist me? And these being less civilized times, right? These were ancient times. The rabbit was wary because it is, as the stories go, in the before times, rabbits were hunted by the raptors, the birds of prey, and other larger animals. I mean, but he looks, he's like, that's just part of the story, right? No one believes anything like that ever. I mean, we never really ate each other, did we? That would just be savage. Must just be the story. Like I said, it's a kid's story. The rabbit refuses. The hawk begs again, promising no harm will no harm will befall the rabbit. He gives his word, right? The rabbit finally concedes and says, yes, I will assist you, but after that I have to be on my way to the clearing. And as the as the rabbit tends to the hawk's wounded leg, helps him back up, the hawk says, do not worry, my friend. I will make sure you make it to the clearing. And the hawk begins to cackle and begins to change. Some awful, awful change befalls him. His form twists and shapes as the feathers molt off. His wings shrink and turn into these long, twisted things with neither fur nor feather, fingers of shiny scale or something. And a demon stood before the rabbit, where the hawk once stood, cackling again. He says, you will make it to the clearing in my belly, and devours the rabbit. In one giant opening of its maw, snaps shut, eating the rabbit, and taking his form, walking to the clearing once again. Walking to the clearing in his place. The meaning of the story, of course, the hawk is not always a hawk, but it's like, I don't know. It's just one McGran used to tell around the campfire. The funny coin reminded me of that.
Geez, most of the stories we tell our kids are, don't put too many acorns in your cheeks.
Well, you come from a very sheltered tree, so...
just for everyone's safety and concern, I am a regular hawk eagle. I'm fine.
Yeah, Blitz is not a demon.
I'm not a demon.
I checked. Not a demon. Don't worry about it.
Huh?
Well,
I'm not a demon.
I'm teasing you. I am teasing you.
I'm fine.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Demons aren't real. This is all just stories.
Yeah, well, that maybe puts into context that comment I got when we were on the boat about, oh, this is more than a bear. It seems like
talking about the bear rumor.
Well, a couple of them were.
I suppose word is slow to get out in the woodland.
Well, that was a very ominous tale for children. But I'm still, I don't know. Is that what this coin would be?
we don't really have any other leads to go on, and if this coin with a ominous backstory has anything,
Maybe it's a threat. I don't know.
I mean, the first letter we got was shot at us or shot at the boat.
Yeah,
so
just multiple threats coming at us.
Yeah.
Well,
feels like.
The letter that came with this one was sort of like, well, if you insist on pursuing this, here's what to do next. So
yeah, that's an interesting
it's
phrasing.
a big flip, shooting arrows at people and saying don't do it, and then immediately kind of helping them.
I definitely think they're probably from different, my assumption would be different sources, but I don't know.
Well, I think we gotta go talk to Cleo. Do we want to do that first, or do we want to talk to the people who've seen these disappearances?
I feel like with the note in your pocket, I feel like that's got some weight to it, and because we'll probably be talking to guards all night, just trying to get as many stories as possible. But if we can start with one solid story or one solid source, that's as good as we'll get.
Yeah, I mean, plus that's in town. I'd like to check out the gate on the edge of town, but let's do what we can in town first.
How do we want to kind of make it known that we're investigating this, or is it more of like a covert operation?
Do we know anyone on the council? Like, how familiar are we with the people in charge right now?
I'll say with Amelia Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose. You are familiar enough, friendly. Definitely the other, we'll say that the other members of the council may be unknown to you right now. You know who they were a year ago, but not necessarily who they are now. But most anyone of influence, and really a lot of other people in Gramble's log, will know who you are, right?
Yeah,
you're
so
something
we probably can't hide.
You're someone, yeah, you're something of local celebrities here, at least.
We can't hide who we are, but we could obscure what we're doing.
True, yeah.
Although, it seems like a lot of mysterious people kind of already know what we're doing.
Yeah, it seems like the people who want to know us know us.
So maybe it would be better to make it really known, in case anyone wants to come forward.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know that it matters at this point if we're getting threats from multiple directions already. Like, plus the rest of you aren't super sneaky, so I don't know that would play well for us as a group anyway. Yeah.
It's just the tail. It's, it's always sticking out. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Bale, do you know a place we could stay maybe while we're here?
Well, I'd be offended if you didn't stay with me.
Oh.
Says. Y'all know Bale has of his personal life. He's got 7 little froglings hopping about. Very crowded house. He's like, we could put you up in it's not a shed per se, around back, more like something of a small barn. Don't really have use for it since we don't farm.
Shed's fine.
There's also the Laughing Demon nearby, the inn.
We don't go to a place for demons.
Yeah, I'm not sold on the demon inn. Right
you said they don't exist. That was a scary story, and I was scared.
Yeah, it seems like a bad idea, maybe.
The demon is where Glenda was last seen, though, correct?
Dude, we gotta talk. We gotta stop by there.
Rankle's gonna stay there. I will book a room there.
Dang. Yeah, that can happen.
So we want to book a room we want you to go with you to book a room, or do we want to?
Yeah, do we head there first, or where do we?
Where are we going?
What's our first stop?
I'm itching to see what Cleo has to say.
We can chat with Cleo.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Plus, an inn's gonna be open later than a trinket shop, right? What time is it right now?
It is super early in the morning.
Cool.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. You begin to Bale wishes you luck. Says, the shed's always there. Don't worry. So sometimes one of the froglings will hide in the hay and pop out and scare you, but don't worry. You just gotta check it real good before you go to sleep, so that none of them jump out at you at night. Yeah, but he just he's like, best of luck, and please let me know as soon as you find anything. You had the docks again, hustle and bustle. It's crowded, but it's not difficult to get by. As you move further into the clearing, you see what you'd expect, right? There are some street vendors kind of pocketing, here and there, nothing like too huge. Some are food, some are just like other stuff. There are like, once you kind of hit the road leading, that out away from the docks, there are small equipment shops, like fishing gear and boat stuff. There's like a boat repair yard, not too far off of the road, but the further you get in, the more it's just, your regular clearing. There are homes, like the shacks and whatnot that you were seeing on the edge of Gramble's log. Most of these are up on stilts, right? Because the marshes are unpredictable, prone to flooding in some seasons, so it would make sense, right? You recognize a lot of new build, also things that weren't there when you were last here, and it's not because you destroyed the buildings or anything, right? We'll say your takeover of Gramble's log there's very little collateral damage, right? You and the freedom fighters were very adamant about it, or at least they were, because they were trying to liberate this clearing, not destroy it. But the places where there was some damage, some wreckage, have been fixed up, repaired, and a lot of new builds have like filled in again, building homes for people, building shops, things like that. It doesn't take you too long. We'll say Bale just gave you general directions to where to get, right? You get down this street and then over here. Some of the paths and streets and the further kind of the core of the clearing now, even cobblestone now, they're moving on up here. But eventually you get to a street that kind of dead ends, right? Not a through street, as they say. On one side, there's like a small shop with kind of dingy windows. It's hard to see in. The building is kind of one of the older ones here in the clearing. There's like just a couple little steps that go on to, the door opens, and on the windows and like some paint, window paint or whatever, the signage, it just says on, glitz and glamour like a vampire does to your brain, not grammar like I do to emails. Got it. That's part of my job, is writing emails.
I'm gonna steal glitz and grammar for my autobiography.
Do it. Yeah, absolutely. But wooden door, etc. Very unimposing. There's not a whole lot going on here. What do we do?
Walk on in, right?
Okay. Beatrice leading the way.
Sure. Yeah, we'll follow.
Yeah. You go in, you open the door, you hear a little bell like jingle, like, as shops do, to alert the owner, the proprietor, the counter operator, etc., to your presence. It's kind of what you expected from the description, right? There are a couple of, like, along the left wall, big built-in shelves with just junk on them, right? Little knickknacks, little paddywhacks. There's a bone that was given to a dog at one point. Just that. There are a couple of freestanding shelves, a couple, some table displays. There's no like semblance of order to how things are set up in here. It just seems like this table was thrifted. This bookshelf was found at the bottom of the lake. They've been like fixed up a little bit, painted here and there, but then opposite the bookshelf and then like other stuff on the right side, there's a long counter just from end to end, right? That sort of like then wraps around the back. So it's kind of like an L shape. You're like at the top of it, goes and then right. And then behind the counter, kind of deeper into the shop, And then, yeah, also shelves and things behind the counter. But these things look a little ritzier, a little fancier. You know, some are in glass cases. The counter itself is a long glass case with like a bunch of jewelry, things in there. Some tomes, like really old looking books and things like that too. You hear sort of a perky voice kind of come up. It's like, oh, well, hello there, strangers. What brings you to the glitz and glamour? You see before you behind the counter a not elderly, but like a little older, kind of like middle-aged plus, right? Let's say 50s-ish crow. There's some silver feathers starting to come in around her temples and other parts, you know, like in the hair, real classy looking, dressed in this sort of like really flowy red dress, but with kind of like a little cardigan shawl over it as well. You know, it looks real cozy, real comfortable. Like a lot of necklaces, right? Like quite a few different types, a lot of clashing going on there. We'll call it a power clash. She wears it well, right? She's like, perhaps we're here in search of something in particular, or just here to browse the wares, like the school children are apt to.
Hi, I'm Beatrice. This is Blitz and Felix and Rankle.
Gives like a little bow. A pleasure.
Is there anyone else in the shop right now?
No, not that you can see. There's
Okay.
a little door on the far wall. Like you can tell there's like a back area, right? But
Yeah, I'll just, cards on the table. I'll pull out the coin again from my mouth.
Jesus. Disturbing every time.
Yeah. Okay. I actually have something for you, maybe. Someone gave us this and said we could bring it to you and you would have something for us.
Yeah. She approaches the coin on the counter and picks it up with like a rag, and just sort of like dries it, gets it real clean first, kind of looks at. Said someone gave this to you to bring into my shop.
Yeah, pretty much.
To trade? Would you?
I think so.
Are you taking? Says, well, I mean, it's a steel coin. I could points to a shelf. Anything on there, or I'll give you one value for it, just because I like the little bunny head.
The note said that she would give us something specific, right? Or
No,
not?
just to trade.
Okay.
Can we look at the items?
Yeah, let's look at the items.
Yes, you can.
I don't know why I repeated that.
Everybody wants to.
We're in agreement.
We'll say, character quirks. That's not it. Names. I never roll for names. I make them up. Oh, here we go. If you're gonna peruse the shelves, give me a D100 roll.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Felix, you want to do that?
Oh, anyone
sure.
can. Anyone can at all. Multiple.
I
people
believe I have a D100. Is this my D10? Yes, just double
I
check.
do have a D100 over here somewhere.
I have like a full round one, but I'm not waiting for that one to roll.
Yeah, you gotta roll it in a tray.
I have a green one of those, yeah. 73.
Okay. Yeah, you look around and, true to the description, I didn't think I was going to be able to do this in this one, but I guess I can. It's fantastic. I'm going to modify the answer a little bit. You see a small bronze statuette.
Okay.
It is, I'm probably gonna say like big, right? But it's actually two figures on a stand, right? There's like the large bronze stand, and the two are just like molded into it. I don't know how metal works. The depiction is of two froglins, frogbirds. Take your pick. And it looks like they are locked in sort of a heated battle. For the size of the statuette, there's very good amount of detail, like real like A+ artisan work here, right? Metal shipping, crafting, whatever. Both are dressed in somewhat like antiquated looking armor. Almost identical, and the sort of like symbol, you know, like icon symbols or whatever, crests match. They're identical on each figure. Both are, and they look to be locked in combat. On the left, one of the frog, which y'all would know enough about culture that you know these are both definitely Anura. They're not non-members, right? Card carrying, just based on the armor flourishes and whatnot. Crest. On the one on the left, it has a broadsword and like sort of like a swinging down motion, right? It's kind of coming down on her opponent, who on the flip side is kind of raising a shield and then aiming a spear as if for like a kind of a counter attack, or like a, you know, like kind of thrust like that. Both, you can see, again, amazing amount of detail. You can see tears are streaming down the eyes of both. And there's like a small little placard or whatever, right? Titling the piece, Sibling Rivalry. Cleo sees you eyeing it, comes over and says, "Oh, has this caught your eye? Very interesting story behind this. Did you know it's actually a recreation, a replica? The real work can be found in stone far, far to the northwest of here. Not many know of it. But searching the woods around Hollowstone, you will see the original. Now, another secret that maybe only old Cleo knows is how it got there, because it is not originally of this land. That's a story for another day."
No, I think it's a story maybe for right now though.
Oh, I wouldn't dare bore you with old ladies' stories, ancient things that happened before anyone was keeping track of how things happened, before these sort of things were written down.
Well, then there's no time like the present for you to share it with us. What if something happens to you? Then how is anyone going to find out the story? Can I try to persuade her to tell us now?
Yes, you can. When you persuade, let's see.
Please tell me it's charm.
For the no, I'm just looking for my quick reference here. When you persuade an NPC with the promises or threats, so you have to be giving up, either offering something or
our time is promised.
How?
It doesn't have to be tangible, right? You're not like offering them a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just kind of maybe figure out like, you know, what might get them to tell you. On a 10+, they see things your way, provided you've given them a strong motive or reasonable bribe. On a 7 to 9, they aren't sure. The GM will tell you what you need to do to sway them. So what do you? So you're like, yeah, come on, let us know. If you do, we'll.
How about we share a story with you? Because we got some pretty good ones.
All right, let's see that roll.
Okay. So it's just plus charm?
She's like,
Okay.
I do love a good story.
Oh, who doesn't, you know?
You've intrigued me. Let me think on this.
Oh no, I lost my dice rolling thing. Here we go. Ooh, I rolled a 10 plus 2 is 12.
Nice.
Fantastic. She says, well, I've thought it over, and yes, what's the harm in a little storytelling? But please, I insist, you go first.
Well, I don't know if you've heard of us before, but we've been in this area one time before, and I tell her the story of, I try to get you guys to interact too, where I'm like, and then Blitz said...
You're like acting it out.
Yeah, I think Blitz is fully gets into it. Blitz is
fantastic.
Anytime they tell a story about exploits, is a story well told.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what? We'll say, yeah. You tell a rousing story of those events. She's like, oh, well, now that you mention it, yes, of course. The heroes of Gramble's log, as some call you. I myself wasn't here at the time, mind you. I was away on business and clearing name. She was... Sorry, I just love this map. She was away at... This is moving.
We gotta get the map on the stream. It's so cool.
We'll say she was up in Quaffletown. It's like I was up in Quaffletown, visiting a friend and conducting a little bit of my own business there. Sometimes a certain dealer or customer wants a very specific piece, and it's something must be delivered myself. But that's not the story I promised you. Let's say also with this, which her realizing who you are and everything, take a +1 forward the rest of your interaction with her. So anytime you make another roll based on your interactions with her, you just get a +1 for it. Or that's, sorry, not a forward, it's an ongoing. So you get it until the end of the scene. A forward you use once and it's done. So now the story of the statue in the woods, not this one, mind you, is quite fascinating. Are any of you aware of the Anura rite of reverence? Old tradition. Sorry, I guess some of you could be. I guess.
Are we?
You can totally decide how much or how little you know about these people. You know, it's assumed. We'll assume because you did help in their liberating of the clearing. You spent a good amount of time with them. You can choose how much of that time you spent learning about them, their history, their customs, their lore, etc. There's not really like a history check or anything like that. There's like potentially a role that would work, but honestly, I think, yeah, I leave it to you to decide how much you know and don't know about the Anura and their culture.
I think I'd probably know more about like their current stuff than their history.
Yeah, I don't think Felix would really know too much.
Yeah, most of my, winning friends and influencing people is from asking people about like themselves, not necessarily.
Gotcha. It's like it is a journey not often taken. I have noticed by those of Gramble's log here. Not that they had the time to, much to be done, much to rebuild. But the rite of reverence is a sort of pilgrimage that they will embark on. It follows a different sort of rite, the rite of discovery, where an Anura or band of them will travel the world in search of knowledge or wonders, what have you, something of value to bring back to the collective. And oftentimes they will leave their mark in the world as well, opting to do good, if you will, in the lands before returning to their own swampclave. Now, there was such a journey long ago, where a band of Anura chose to journey to what's known as their island of reverence, somewhere far, far, far to the north of here, a place where many Anura artists will journey to honor one of the elders of their past generation. In a sort of permanence, they will carve a statue of their like they will tell stories of their elder on the shores of the beach to the island. They will sit in contemplation and meditation as the task is complete. Not all who journey are artisans, right? A journey requires a shipwright, a captain, hunters to keep them fed. It is quite the ordeal, quite the expedition. It is not taken on rarely or lightly. This group did carve, make this specific statue that you see the replica of here today, in honor of two Anura of their own tribe, of their own collective. Two who had unfortunately committed one of a great sin, as it's considered of their kind, that of selfishness. Each trying to rule the collective instead of serve the collective. Their mother, you see, had been speaker of the collective previously, and a member of the council for as long as they lived. They assumed this meant that they themselves would inherit the position, that they were deserving of ruling above others. Each rallied Anura and non-Anura to their cause. Very, very charismatic siblings. In the end, they almost destroyed their community. They did destroy each other. This group chose to include them in the Island of Reverence, not to honor them, but rather to warn other Anura. They've become a cautionary tale among the people. Now, how it ended up here in Midwater, not all people of this world are as noble, we'll say, as the Anura, well, most of them, as you all can obviously see, with the goings on here with the war and all of that. But at some point, raiders found their way to the island, finding nothing of real value there. They destroyed many of the great works, many that stood there for generations. However, their leader, one weasel, from what I hear of it, not always the most sea-bearing or ocean, water-bearing creatures, but it's everyone can work a boat, I suppose. Took one look at sibling rivalry at the statue and decided it was his. Their ship sailed south, the Great Lake. I hear it was shipwrecked. They tried to drift down the river in makeshift rafts and lifeboats, stubborn as all hell to keep that statue for himself. It was their demise, and somehow the statue now rests in the woods not far from the banks of the lake, down up the north again on the peninsula of Hollowstone. Not many know it's there. Not many even know of this tradition, but there it is.
And you said they made this replica too?
The replica was made in an attempt to regain what was lost. There are many like this one that exist among, even here in Gramble's log, there may be more than one of this, but again, that it is a story told, not really in the presence of outsiders, but told within their community, again, to warn them of the folly of selfishness, the folly of greed, to remind them to always put the community before all. Fascinating group, the Anura. I was very lucky to procure this one.
The the location of the statue, is that near where any of the disappearances happened?
It is like the opposite end
Way
of the water.
Okay.
It would be weeks of travel to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not in Gramble's log. It's by near Norris Crossing.
Well, I think it's a cool statue, but you know, I don't know what exactly I was supposed to do with this coin, if that's I don't know. What do you all think?
Can we like take the statue? Is it like heavy, or is it like if we shake it, there's like something inside of it?
I really want to break the statue open.
No, it seems solid when you pick it up.
Solid.
Okay.
Cleo kind of speaks up. Actually, JK, she does, but we are going to take a quick break first. And then she's going to potentially make you an offer for that coin.
Awesome. Cool.
Ooh.
For everybody else, please hang out. We're going to be taking a quick break here. See you in about 10. It'd be a super rad if you're here when we come back, because we really want you to enjoy the rest of our tale. So, see you soon.
It's spelled like TAIL.
Oh, I see. Hi, hello, and welcome back, everyone, to Midnight in the Marshes, a Root, the role-playing game actual play. We are the actual players. If you're just joining us for the first time, here we are. Before we left for our break, our band of vagabonds was trading interesting stories with Cleo, the proprietor of Blitz and Glamour, a trinket and curio shop here in the clearing of Gramble's Log. Yes.
Nailed the name.
I did. First time. Cleo told you a weird-ass story about a frog statue, and you still have that coin, that mysterious coin, and that found its way into your pocket. But I don't think this old statue is what you're really looking for, is it? What brings you all back to Gramble's Log?
Well, we had a close friend of ours who had a close friend of theirs go missing, along with some of these other folks we've been hearing about.
Oh, yes. I have heard about these as well.
Any, people finding items in here?
Oh, I see. You mean to investigate these disappearances in hope of finding our missing denizens?
Or finding what's left of them.
Oh, well.
That's not a very positive attitude, Rankle.
I just...
Rankle's not a very positive guy.
I see. Well, they would send them. Who would expect less from the heroes of Gramble's Law? Yes.
That like a dig? Was that a little sarcastic?
Yeah, this feels. Can we do?
Okay, that's
Yeah, you can-
pros are
you can-
inscrutable.
You can roll to figure someone out for sure.
I'm not good at that, but I might. I feel like Felix would be.
It
Can I help?
It doesn't hurt to try. You can. I always say you want to wait till after the roll to decide to help or not, because you can only give.
Yeah,
Right,
you
I
have to
do
mark an
exhaustion.
exhaustion. I
Yeah.
believe.
Unless your connection allows you to take a +2. Like some connections will do that. So look out for that.
Okay.
I only rolled a 6, so I don't think I get anything.
But a help would bump you up to a 7. So in this instance, it would.
Or
it
wait,
would
can I
help,
use a
but-
+1 from?
Oh shit, snacks! Yes, you do have you have the ongoing, so that would be a 7.
Yeah.
Aha!
Absolutely. Yeah. So to figure someone out, you hold 1. You spend your 1 to ask a question. Any of those questions on the list.
What are they really feeling? I think that's what I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just trying to get back in my room. I'm so sorry.
So many cat problems, and we haven't even encountered them.
I'm so sorry. He's
The real life
deciding
Marquis.
what he wants to do.
Real life Marquis.
Real life Marquis.
Yeah,
They
Real
come
life
for us.
Marquis is demanding
Yes.
attention right now.
my Marquis member is playing with a crinkle toy
Love that
just
one.
for
Hello,
this.
Jonesy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's the Marquis. He's mad at me right now. Okay. You don't want to be
Okay.
here. Go.
What is she really feeling? Let me ask you. In regards to what, like about what, or just in general? Like you can specify if you'd like.
I think I'm going to specify because of the way she was talking about us, like how, because she kept calling us the heroes of Grambler's Log, which I think makes Felix a little uncomfortable.
I mean, that's what they call it. Some people do.
So-
not like a ton.
Sorry, what? What was that?
That's legit what some people around the clearing will call you.
Yes, right. But I think that it still makes Felix a little bit uncomfy as someone
for
who's
sure.
not used to like being in the spotlight. And so I think he's a little bit suspicious of people's like intentions and how they actually feel about us. So I'm curious about her attitude towards us as a group.
Plus,
And-
she's like so.
And sort of like the resulting changes that happened while she was gone.
Gotcha.
Like, is she carrying some resentment or something?
I'll say she isn't resentful of y'all. That's for sure. But yeah, you can tell as you've been observing, right, that this interaction is a mask, right? The bubbly, eccentric little storyteller. That's something for the tourists or the ones who wander in to get a good, spin a good yarn to sell something to someone, right? But you can tell that she's using it in a way right now, not to like sell anything to you, but rather to figure you out. You see, she's curious about you and your like actual intentions here in Gramble's Log. However, after you talked about the missing denizens and this and that, you can tell that she thinks favorably of you now.
Okay, cool. So she was more sussing us out, and that's sort of what I was picking up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
I think in that case, I will just sort of lean on what Beatrice has been saying and just reiterate, like, we're just here to help out a friend. Like, someone very close to him is gone, and we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. She says, in that case, perhaps whoever sent you was thinking you could use something from the second menu, if you will. A list of services we provide here, and not the trinkets you see on the shelves. Aside from dealing in fine artifacts, she's at full seriousness. She says fine artifacts there. Probably not. I have also been known to trade information here and there. And that coin there cashes in pretty heavily.
I think we'd like to cash in.
And I'll add this onto your figure someone out. She knew exactly, like, this was always going to happen. She just wanted to suss you out before.
Yeah, figure out what our deal was.
But yeah, you can tell this is where this was probably going to go into it. She says, yes, I know the goings on of Gramble's log, maybe better than most or anyone else. But these disappearings remain a mystery even to me. However, it isn't the only curious thing happening around Gramble's log right now. An associate of mine informed me that there is a group of denizens here who have been, how do we put this politely, trading in the night, shipping, ferrying cargo and whatnot, without the proper paperwork and or approval of the council.
Oh, like smuggler types.
Yes, but again,
Beatrice looks really proud of herself for knowing about smugglers.
Yes, exactly.
Blitz just like gives you like a nudge with his arm, like, yes, good job, good.
I
cracked it.
Cracked it.
If I were guessing, if I were a guessing crow, I would maybe guess that anyone who didn't want their operations found out would not hesitate to do something about any who did find out, or who could potentially spill the beans, as they say. They say that around Gramble's log a lot. I just decided. It's a good a place to start as any, I think.
Do you know where these late night dealings are going down?
She looks at both sides of the coin. Yes. Again, an associate of mine let me know 2 nights hence. The docks run east to west because they're on the southern. The far east side of the dock, an hour past midnight, a ship with black sails will come in, and they'll either be bringing in or taking cargo. That is as much as I know so far. But yeah, anyone nefarious enough to barter, I don't know, again, to smuggle, especially in Gramble's log, big no here.
Does that timing kind of align with the disappearances that we know of?
Mhm.
Okay.
It actually does, yeah.
But the placement doesn't necessarily. They weren't all on the docks.
Right. Some were traveling the road, some were just out in the marshes.
Okay.
They were all just on the outskirts of town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which Gramble's log's position in the marshes,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Got a
not.
lot
There's
of
not like
outskirts.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of outskirts, and even the dock itself, like it's not there. There are outskirts on either sides of the dock,
Yeah.
right? So it's
A
like
lot
you
of
could
places
definitely end
people
up
could
just in
go
the
missing.
in the deeper end of the marshes, just on any side of this clearing. So the outskirts are very broad. So yeah.
And would you happen to know about a good location where we could maybe scout out this arrival?
She thinks. There was a warehouse along the docks there, a little storing facility, right, for cargo odds and ends. She like describes it. It's essentially kind of like just down the boardwalk or whatever, a little bit from that one. The groundhog there owes me a favor. Perhaps I could convince him to let you, climb the roof, do something, stay, in there in 2 nights. If, she says, buy that statue for 3 value.
You said you trade in information.
Bye.
I know you also trade in regular money, but our group's pretty good at getting information. Would you consider partnership? For as long as we're staying here?
Now that is interesting. To say, well, 1 for 1 then? Are we to be sharing information back and forth? As
like you want to know what we find out from this one?
I look her. Yeah, I mean, I think we could. I mean, I think this information is very useful, and we can give you this bargaining chip. And yes, we can share information what we find on this investigation, and I'm quite good at getting into places unseen if there's other information you're looking for.
Now that does interest me.
He's really good. Like,
fascinating. To be honest, these smugglers are not only a thorn in the paw in the paw of Gramble's log, they are also providing some annoyance to some of my associates who would not be sad to see their operation shut down. However, not soon. No, must be subtle. So yes, anything you could find out on them, about them, etc., would be of value to me, partner.
Sounds good to me. Not one for art myself, so don't really have a place to put it.
She let me see. Whoa, scrolled my map away. Sorry. She pauses there and says, "Yes. So return, if you will, after this meeting. I will make the arrangements with Marty the groundhog name's Marty. We'll go with that. You'll have access to the facility. So you return to me with whatever you know. I'll, share what I know in exchange, and maybe there's a little something extra in it for you, depending on what you find. We'll just say finder's fee.
Well, I would appreciate that. Try to drum up some good info for you.
Me and my associates would very much appreciate that. Each of you go ahead and mark 1 prestige with a new faction. Your characters are unaware that they've gained this prestige or even of the existence of this faction, but give yourselves a +1 with the Corvid conspiracy.
Oh my god, I love that. Stop. I'm obsessed.
I was just about to ask her, who are these associates?
She wouldn't tell you, but
okay, I
know,
just thought
but
I'd ask.
We'll check. Ooh.
And I think that's where we're gonna wrap for the evening. So thanks, y'all. We'll pick it up to next time with search through Gramble's log, it sounds like. Thanks everyone for sticking with us. It's been a really fun night. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I've been Miguel. You can find me wherever social medias are sold at Miguel_Clásico. I will be wrapping up another Root campaign that's coming over with TTRPG. That's TEA. You get it. It's been a blast over there. This campaign actually does take place in Hollowstone, and maybe those vagabonds have seen that statue. Right. Otherwise, yeah, catch me here in 2 weeks. We'll be playing more Midnight in the Marshes, and I cannot wait. So let's let everyone tell us who you are, where you've been, etc. We'll go back in the same order we did before. So I believe, Christian, you're first.
Everybody, hey, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, on several socials. You can find me here on Twitch, also on TikTok as a Fluffy Goomba. You can also find me on Thursdays on Roll for Dylan. That's ROLL4DYLAN for Vampire the Masquerades, Darkness Over New Orleans, and of course you can find me on Sundays 8 p.m. EST for Tragedy Theologian on Total Party Kiss, Greek Myth Inspired 5e campaign. And that's it for right now.
Cool. Yes. Thank you. And then Isabel.
Hi, everyone. My name is Isabel. You can find me all over the internet at Isabel is okay. I am a queer TTRPG streamer and engineer by day. You can find me over on the Pluto Clerics Twitch channel. We have 2 more Sundays of our Starfinder, the Weird Frontier campaign. So coming up on a conclusion, that is Sundays at 6 p.m. So tomorrow is our penultimate episode, which is very, very exciting, where I play a very sad, mysterious little android. Also on Pluto's channel, every other Monday, resuming on June 5th, I am in a Gods Among Mortals campaign. It is an all non-binary cast, and we are raising money for trans charities every week. So check that out. And and then follow me on Twitter for updates for when I go live.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Sabina, what's up with you?
Hey, I'm Sabina. I am on maybe just Twitter right now. I have an Instagram too, at Alfalfa Centauri. And I play a character named Chanterelle Burdock on a podcast, actual play fate podcast called Two Monsters Rolling Dice. It comes out every Wednesday.
Awesome. Excellent. And Nate, take us home.
Okie dokie. Hi, everybody. I'm Nate. You can find me opposite of Sabina. I'm on Instagram at nride93. I think I'm also on Hive. I haven't checked that in a hot minute, but I think that still exists. Who knows?
I've got a lot of defunct accounts.
If you want to follow me places, that's where you can find me for some just general good geekiness and whatnot. Besides that, I'm also the head of content here at the Initiative Order, which is just a fancy way of saying I help run shit behind the scenes and get shows going. So, if you're interested in hanging out with myself or other fantastic members of this community, if you want to play in free-to-play community games, if you want to potentially be part of a stream, we hold open calls as well. There will be a Discord link going around in the chat. Please come join us, come geek out with us, come game with us. We want to meet you. We want to just have fun with our friends. That is what it's all about. Besides that, you can catch me back on the Initiative Order tomorrow for our continuation of 𝙒𝙗𝙧𝙧𝙨, where I am the GM for it. We just started Book 2, Season 2, whatever you want to call it, of the Throne of Thorns. It's a massive campaign written over, I think, 6 or 7 books. We're just jamming through all of them. So we are back tomorrow with episode 2 of our second season. A fantastic cast, super, super talented. I'm very, very lucky to these folks. It's kind of a dark fantasy, almost more simplified version of D&D in a way. So if you're into that kind of thing, come check it out. I think that's all I've got. There will be, too, an awesome little reel at the end of our stream tonight for our fantastic sponsors. There will be discount codes on there where you can go pick up all kinds of nerdy, amazing TTRPG things. Everything from clothing, game and accessories, dice. We have all kinds of folks who are helping us help you with discounts. So make sure to check all those folks out. I think that's it. I'm going to shut up now. Thank you so much, Miguel. This was absolutely fantastic. Alrighty. I guess that's it, everybody. Good night.
Yep.
We'll see y'all next time.